All right, so yeah, I was 20. I'm Tyler Lemke from the 3M company, and I was hired in May after I'd graduated. I'm originally from Phillips, Wisconsin, so further north of Madison, about 6 hours, almost right underneath Lake Superior. And then I went to Michigan Technological University in Houghton, Michigan, so I went further north and more snow. And then I graduated there in May of 2014 after completing 2 internships with Marketboard United and 1 internship with Polaris Industries, and then started with 3M as a control system engineer. So having both those internships, I had put together ideal job of what I wanted in a company and in a job. I put together a thought, and I wanted mainly just to stay with one company and have that one company provide a variety of jobs within the company, as well as technical areas of expertise, if you will. So the big things that I had when I was looking for a job was, number 1, the culture of the company. Number 2, the technical aspects of the job. Number 3, the location of the company. And I wasn't as concerned with the compensation if the other 3 could really provide what I wanted. Because that's what I saw that benefited for me to stay there in the long run and really learn to love the company. So with the culture of the company, I wanted a place where you didn't have to worry about walking by a person's cube and knocking on the door and saying hi, or even walking by someone's office and knocking on the door and saying hi and asking a question. I didn't want to feel like I was intruding on anyone. I wanted to feel like I could make an impact in the company, even as a new hire. I didn't want the odd intern jobs of going and making copies or doing other things while I was training. I wanted to pretty much be immersed directly. I wanted to be able to be not micromanaged, manage my own projects as I see fit, and at a high level be managed so I could get help if I need it going to my manager, but not have him look at my project schedules and what controls I'm picking out for the project and critiquing that. I wanted to be trusted, basically, in that respect, because I'd got a degree for it. I wanted the flexibility, so I wanted to be able to pick my hours. I didn't want to have to be in at 7 o'clock or have to be in at 8 o'clock. So that was one. And then also to be able to go to doctor's appointments and not worry about missing, or go to doctor's appointments or attend other things within reason, of course, but and not worry about it and not have to tell my supervisor about it when I was doing it. I wanted a wide variety of challenges. I wanted to be able to touch a lot of different technologies within controls. I wanted to be able to move within the company to get different looks from different places. And I also wanted a company that offered outside of work things. So like clubs that you could do outside of work to get you more involved with the area that you're in, and also with the company itself and the people in the company. Technical wise, I wanted to be able to apply what I had learned. I didn't want what I had learned just to get me a job in management where I didn't use any of my electrical engineering that I had learned. I wanted to always keep learning, which goes right along with new challenges with the job and numerous challenges with the job. I never wanted to, I didn't want a job where they said, go learn how to do X, Y, and just do X, Y for 15 years. I wanted to do everything, or be able to do everything. I wanted good training. So I wanted to be able to have a mentor that would guide me through the technical projects and aspects, as well as someone who would take me through the more social workplace, if you will. I wanted to be able to travel for work. I wanted to be able to see different places. I didn't just want to be in one plant. And I also wanted to continue my education. So I wanted the option to be able to continue my education, and if I wanted to get an MBA or to become a professional electrical engineer. The location was one of the more important things to me. Well, it goes right along with wanting to stay with the company for a long time. If you don't like where you're living or where you're sleeping at night, you're probably not going to stay there for very long. So I enjoyed that numerous companies that I went on interviews with or went to their workplace interview or visit, they took you around the town. It was nice when they showed you around the town, not just the company, and said, yeah, here's where you can go and do this. We have the YMCA or the workout here, and everybody from the company goes and plays softball there and stuff like that. So that was a big thing. And then also being able to change that location if wanted. So have multiple locations. And then last thing was the compensation. And of course you want a competitive compensation. You're just coming out of college, so you want to get paid more than your friend, obviously. So, and you want good benefits was the other thing. And then, so I went about looking for jobs at the career fair, and I picked out all the companies that I wanted to go and see, and then I interviewed, and I selected 3M after they showed me that they could meet pretty much every one of my desired job qualities, if you will. And so the onboarding process was, I'll say, really easy. They walked you through it, but they let you make it your own. It's in an interesting way. So when I first came, the first day you show up and they take you in and they go over all your benefits and your pay and 401k and a whole bunch of stuff you don't understand as a new hire coming out of college, and you're going to call your mom afterwards to have her clarify it. And then the second half of the day you meet your supervisor and you go out to lunch with him, and you also meet your mentor and what you call your buddy at 3M. So your buddy is your social mentor, if you will. If you have any questions you don't want to ask, and they're usually a newer hire, so like within the last 2 or 3 years they've been hired, so they went through what you went through, and they might know what you want to know, and they'll be able to answer that. Versus your mentor is someone who's been there for 7, 10 years and is very technically knowledgeable about everything going on that you're going to be doing. So you might not want to ask them certain questions, or you might not feel comfortable, so that's what your buddy's for. And it was really nice to have that person. But you met them, and then you got familiar with the area. You met everybody in your group at work, and then you basically got familiar and signed up for trainings. Then you sign up for all these trainings, and they're more of safety trainings and like the general overview of what the company is and how to talk to vendors and what to say and all that good stuff. So you're clicking through all these interviews in the first week, and you're pretty well stuck in interviews and training and learning of what not to do, what to do, and most of it is common sense, but sometimes you get surprised. Then it goes on, and the training really changes to, you get a project within the first couple weeks. They usually try to assign you to a project right away, and they assign you as the project lead for, well, controls in my group. But they also assign your mentor to it, your technical mentor. So you're quote unquote the lead, but they're pushing the project at this point. So you go through it, and that's where you do most of your technical training, is in projects. You learn almost all of your technical knowledge is learned on projects, and you get numerous projects, and your mentor is really your go-to source for that. But the nice thing about 3M was that anybody could be your mentor at any given time. So I could walk up to anybody's cube if I had a question and my mentor wasn't there, or I couldn't get it answered. You could ask anybody and they would answer it, which is super nice about the culture of 3M. Another way that they did training was they have a tech forum, and the EMTOs, Engineering and Manufacturing Technology Organization is what that stands for. 3M loves their acronyms. It's another thing that you had to get used to in the first few weeks. They actually have a list of it on their training documents. So the EMTOs and the tech forum, the EMTO is in the tech forum, but it's basically a place for all the technical people within 3M to collaborate, if you will. And so if you're looking for a technology, you can go through that to find it and find the expert on the technology to get your question answered, which is awesome when you get to be a part of it. So there's that. And then there's also the social networking aspect. They have it's called Spark and also Connections. So Spark is the tech forum, Facebook, if you will. This is the millennial workforce. So, and then Connections is the all company Facebook. But Spark is cool because it comes to your email, but you're signed up for it, and it sends out just a whole bunch of people looking for this or people looking for that, or you're interested in that technology. So you learn a lot, maybe not about what you're doing, but you learn a lot about what the company's pursuing and the company's where certain areas are headed to and where you could be involved or if you need to answer it. But it also gives you that outlet to ask any questions that you might have as well and find out, and you get very quick responses. Connections is where 3M has most of their clubs. There's actually a thing called 3M Club, and that's where it's like intramurals for 3M, which was really nice because you meet a ton of people out of the workplace, so you get to know a lot of people, but you also learn a lot about your job and where you fit in and 3M as a whole through that. So it's more than just an after-work playground, if you will. But like said, a lot of your training at 3M is through networking. They actually sent us to a day-long how-to network program, which I thought was really interesting. That it was really cool that they spent the money on us to do that, but it was really interesting to me that they did it because I have no friends in other companies that were sent to a training on how to network. And they do that because at the end of every month you have donut days, payday donut days, where all the engineers come and get a donut, and it's more for just talking about it. You talk about your job or what your projects are. If you have a question, guaranteed you can find someone at this place to answer that question. And everybody started super informal, and you can just talk to everybody. And they also have, like within the group, you have days where you have lunch. So like we have Ketchup Collaboration. It's just a nifty name that the managers came up for it. But basically they bring lunch, and you go outside in the summer, of course, because in the winter you can't really go outside. You wouldn't enjoy it. And again, it's just to get to know the department and any questions you have, or I mean, really just to get to know people. The technical, and that's pretty much all training that is encountered in networking. I mean, 15% of it is probably online, but it's the really general awareness training and safety trainings that are online. Then the technical aspects of the job are so far, I mean, and I'm talking to my mentor, there's no shortage of areas to become an expertise or expert. So the technical aspects are huge at 3M. You could be there for 70 years and never know everything about 3M and not know all the technologies that they have. Travel is, I really I wanted to travel, like I said before, so I mean, it's awesome. They let me come to Florida to talk at this conference, so can't complain about that. And then also the ability that they give me to have that opportunity to continue my education, where if I prove myself worthy of where it would pay back 3M to get my MBA, they'll pay for my MBA as long as I do a good job and get, B's, I think, at least. So they'll pay for that. And also if I want to become a professional engineer, that's also an option. And then the compensation is a big part too. It's a pay for, I mean, they are competitive in that. And then their benefits package is very good. So. And then I also had the opportunity a few months ago, to go on a recruiting trip. So you actually go to the career fair and be on the other side of the table where I was 5 months ago, which was really interesting to see what 3M was looking for in my position when they were talking to me. And you kind of feel like an idiot sometimes when you saw some of the questions and how you answered it, but it was really interesting and eye-opening to see how 3M was looking for it. So I mean, as a company that was known as the innovation company, I mean, this is what you read to them, and the culture really allows the employees to pursue their ideas. They have 50,000 products produced globally at many locations, and they're in everything. You're never more than 3 feet away from a 3M product. So I mean, when you tell a kid that's interviewing for a prospective job that, they're pretty excited already. But it was huge because you're focusing, it was eye-opening in my perspective, because I always thought of 3M as hiring the 4.0 engineer, the kid that was super smart and could talk to anyone. But 3M really looks more towards the leadership of people. They look for people that thrive in leadership environments, both in and out of school. And for me, that was big because, one, I kind of realized that that's why my GPA didn't matter so much, because it wasn't the greatest. But so it was nice for that. But it was also big because trying to tell kids that, or get that out of a kid, like you're asking a question and they tend to lean towards the I'm really smart, or I did this and this, when really you're looking for the how did you react to the situation and that kind of stuff. So in summary, I think that having or giving the opportunity to new employees and really, I mean, you can tell a lot about your company in a paragraph, but when you really bring people in and you have to get them integrated into the community as well as your company. Because if they don't like the community they're living in, they're not, I mean, you're at work 8 hours a day, but you're out of work more than that. So if you don't like that, you're really out of it. And also the training. The training is huge, in openness of the culture, where you can be known, and you can also learn from anybody in the department at any time. So that was my big takeaways on developing future leaders. So thank you.